The Denver Broncos took a gamble, and it absolutely paid off. This roster is loaded with talent, and now the rest of the NFL is starting to see it. Don't just take the word of analysts or predictions about Denver being a threat in the AFC West. The proof is written across the league. Players who didn't even survive final cuts in Denver are being scooped up instantly by other teams. That's how stacked this roster has become. In just one wave of moves, 3 former Broncos who didn't make Sean Payton's 53-man roster found new homes right away. Cornerback Darius Mathis reunited with defensive mastermind Ejiro Evero in Carolina. Offensive lineman Xavier Truss was picked up by the New Orleans Saints. And the Tennessee Titans jumped at the chance to grab Clay Webb. Add in Devin Veal, and that makes 4 players who couldn't crack Denver's final roster but were immediately seen as valuable pieces elsewhere. Think about that. 4 players deemed not good enough for the Broncos were still good enough for other NFL teams. That's the kind of depth we haven't seen in Denver since the Peyton Manning era. When Sean Payton said this roster had players capable of making other teams, he wasn't exaggerating. He was dead right. This is the kind of foundation that builds contenders. Sean Payton was absolutely right again. And honestly, it's becoming a theme. Over the past 2 years, almost every move he's made has proven the critics wrong. Look at the confidence Denver showed after final cuts. While other teams scrambled to scoop up released players, the Broncos didn't feel the need to add anyone. That speaks volumes about how Payton views this roster. Before training camp, he told Yahoo Sports that this was one of only 6 teams he's coached that he believed could make a Super Bowl run. After seeing them in action through camp and preseason, that belief hasn't wavered. Some doubters claim the offense didn't look great in preseason. But if Payton truly felt that way, he would have gone out and added pieces from the wave of roster cuts around the league. Instead, he stood firm. That shows just how deep and talented this roster is. In fact, Payton revealed that the process of trimming this roster was one of the toughest challenges he's faced. Back in his first year with Denver, meetings with GM George Patton about roster cuts lasted an hour or 2. This year, the decision-making took 6 grueling hours. That's how much talent he had to weigh. Payton didn't want to let go of a player who could go on to help another team make a deep playoff run. And here's the thing, the gambles he took worked. Every player Denver truly wanted to keep, they managed to bring back. The only real surprise was the release of Audric Estime, but outside of that, Payton's plan unfolded exactly as designed. This isn't just roster building, it's building a contender. Not every gamble worked out in Denver's favor. Running back Audric Estime is now on the Philadelphia Eagles practice squad. From his perspective, it makes sense. He sees a younger backfield being built there and gets the chance to play behind one of the NFL's best offensive lines. In Denver, the role just wasn't there for him. There was also concern around the release of linebacker LaVale Bailey. Many believed he had the talent to eventually start in this league. But Sean Payton made a strategic choice, keeping Kareem Reed, a stronger special teams contributor, over Bailey. It showed Payton's trust in the health and reliability of veterans like Alex Singleton and Dre Greenlaw, while also recognizing the importance of special teams under coordinator Darren Rizzi. But here's the twist, Bailey came back. He had the chance to walk away to join another team, but instead, he chose to return to Denver. That speaks volumes about the culture Payton is building. Players believe in it. The same story unfolded with rookie Caleb Lohner. Some fans were quick to call him a wasted pick when he was cut, but he too returned. And make no mistake, other NFL teams wanted him. Mike Vrabel and several franchises had their eyes on Lohner as a potential undrafted addition. But when given the choice, he came back to the Broncos. That's the kind of loyalty and belief that shows this isn't just another roster, it's becoming a brotherhood. LaVale Bailey is back with the Denver Broncos, and that could be huge. Sean Payton has always been a master at using the practice squad to his advantage, elevating players into real game action when the moment calls for it. Bailey knows this system, he's earned Payton's trust, and it wouldn't be surprising to see him activated as early as Week 1 against the Tennessee Titans. And it's not just Bailey. Rookie Caleb Lohner could also find his way onto the field later this season, especially in specialized red zone packages. Both players had chances to leave Denver, but they chose to return, proving once again that this roster and this culture are worth buying into. Another name to watch is fullback Adam Prentice. With Michael Burton placed on long-term IR due to a hamstring injury, an injury that could end his season, maybe even his career, Prentice steps into a crucial role. Don't be shocked if he's activated immediately for Week 1. Payton has always been a master at moving pieces around, elevating players when needed, and then shifting them back once reinforcements return. With tight end Nate Adkins also expected to miss Week 1, the flexibility of elevating Prentice gives Denver a powerful insurance policy until the roster gets healthier. This is the brilliance of Payton's system. Even when adversity hits, he finds ways to maximize every ounce of depth and keep this roster battle ready. A.T. Perry is back with the Denver Broncos, and that's an important insurance policy. With so many weapons in the passing game, Marvin Mims, Josh Franklin, Pat Bryant, Cortland Sutton, Evan Engram, there simply aren't enough targets to go around. And with Bo Nix expected to lean on the run game instead of throwing 50 times like he did in college, Perry's opportunities may be limited early. But if injuries strike, Perry is a perfect next man up who can step in and produce immediately. The offensive line is another story worth celebrating. Sean Payton has raved about rookie tackle Frank Crum, a player who has drawn interest from multiple NFL teams. In fact, 3 franchises reportedly tried to trade for him. Crum's combination of size, athleticism, and raw power is rare. He shined at the combine, and now he gets to learn under one of the best offensive line coaches in football, a former left tackle who understands exactly what it takes to succeed in Payton's system. The Broncos see Crum as a long-term building block, and his growth could be a cornerstone for this offense in the years ahead. And perhaps the most underrated move of all came at quarterback. Denver didn't need to carry 3 QBs on the active roster, but thanks to Sam Ehlinger's decision, they essentially have 3 anyway. Ehlinger turned down offers to be the number 2 quarterback elsewhere, a move that would have guaranteed him millions more just to stay in Denver. That's commitment. That's belief in this team's direction. When talented players choose Denver over money and opportunity elsewhere, it says one thing: something special is building in the Mile High City. Sam Ehlinger didn't return to Denver because he doubts Bo Nix. Quite the opposite. He came back because of him. After the preseason matchup against the Saints, Ehlinger's final words before leaving the podium were simple: Bo Nix is really good at football. That says everything. Ehlinger, like others, chose Denver over bigger roles and bigger paychecks because of the culture Sean Payton is building. This isn't the sinking ship that critics painted it as. Instead, it's becoming a destination. Players who had every reason to leave, LaVale Bailey, Caleb Lohner, A.T. Perry, and Ehlinger himself, all decided to stay. That's proof Payton has flipped this locker room into a place players want to be. And the league has noticed Denver's talent. 4 former Broncos who couldn't even crack the final roster here are already starting for other teams. That's not weakness, that's depth. To top it off, the Broncos got even more good news from around the league. The NFL officially handed Kansas City wide receiver Rashee Rice a 6-game suspension for his off-field incident. While it doesn't perfectly line up to sideline him against Denver this year, it's still a major blow to the Chiefs' offense and another reminder that the AFC West is wide open. This isn't just about roster moves anymore. It's about culture, depth, and momentum. And right now, all 3 are leaning Denver's way. The NFL holding Rashee Rice to a full 6-game suspension is a game changer. No reduction, no shortcuts, he's out for 6. And that couldn't come at a worse time for Kansas City. The Chiefs open their season with a brutal schedule, an international clash in Brazil, followed by the Philadelphia Eagles, 2 showdowns in New York, the Baltimore Ravens, Jacksonville Jaguars, and Detroit Lions. That's a gauntlet, and without their top wide receiver, those 50-by-50 games suddenly tilt even harder against them. Patrick Mahomes thrives on timing and chemistry with his playmakers, but Rice won't even touch the field until Week 7. And by then, the Chiefs have a bye week soon after, meaning Rice will have just a handful of games to shake off rust before facing Denver. That lack of rhythm could be the difference when these rivals clash. The Chiefs aren't going to have the same firepower out of the gate, and the Broncos need to take advantage. This isn't just good news, it's a golden opportunity. At the end of the day, it all comes back to one truth: Sean Payton was right, again. The Denver Broncos are deeper, tougher, and more confident than they've been in years. Players who could have walked away chose to stay. Former Broncos are starting on other rosters because the talent here is that strong. And across the league, rivals are stumbling while Denver is quietly stacking momentum. This isn't just hype. This is proof. Proof that the culture has changed. Proof that the depth is real, and proof that the Broncos are building something special in the Mile High City. For the first time in a long time, Broncos country can believe again.